Hey, all, it's Celthyn here. Yeah, haven't had many good ideas for actually doing the haven't had many good um yeah plans for what we wanted to do in terms of a video this week. So instead, just doing this. Anyway, okay, so we've got our rover here, this here. Okay, we need to be able to connect them up to each other. We should set up a connector system, right? We've got that. Right. Check our GPS list actually quickly. Okay, so we've only got magnesium and silicon listed. Not like outfit. Okay, so okay, yeah. And is this just stone? Silicon and down here. More silicon. Checking. And ice. Okay, silicon and ice. Cool. Good to know. Not hugely helpful right now, but good to know regardless. Should label. Yeah. That's silicon ice. Well, got that. So if we want to put connectors on here, we need to go find iron first. Cool. Right. You're all built up, right? I'll check the road is built up, and then go for a quick drive to see if we can find some ice. Not ice, even iron. We can put in yeah, iron, and we need so that's built. That's built up in a horrific place, but whatever. Oh god, this is actually ugly as sin. Okay. Check the just auto detector. Yeah, it's max range. Okay. Ooh. Oy, 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 oy. Okay, yeah. And I can't even see the taskbar. Right, of course I've got. Oh wow, we've been. Okay, well, whatever. This needs to go and be replaced. That will lose those wheels though in their current state. Okay, so how do I make sure those wheels stay attached? Done. Okay, so that must be it. Reasonably certain that's an attachment point there. So hopefully, if I do, I should grab some more steel plate. Actually, just a couple and some interior plate. I can fix this. Right, what's in this in? What have we got on the base? We've got some interior plate, brilliant, and some steel plate, brilliant. We'll do what we need for now. Because what we need to do is hope now that when I pull this off, it doesn't detach the wheels. Hopefully. Ooh. Okay, brilliant. The wheels are still on. So now, if I go to conveyors, I can put in this somewhere on here. No. I don't need the conveyor junction, conveyor tube, no. Where's the conveyor converter? There we go. Think that works, I think. Oh, do I not even have points on here? Boop, doop, doo. I don't have any of the things I need. Right. So then I think, yeah, brilliant. I can then put that there and then build the converter. Boop, boop, and build this. Okay. So build planner and build planner. Okay, brilliant. Let's see what of them I. Okay. Yeah. Production is assembler. Built the things. Brilliant. There we go. So now, hopefully, I can quickly build this up. Build up the control point. I probably don't really need it built all this way up. Like, as long as it's functional, the rest of it's not technically necessary. And this isn't necessary right now, but it's good to have. Maybe I wanted the launch for something? I don't know, that doesn't seem worth it. Right. Slot 1. I want. Oh, come on, where is it? Handbrake. There we go. I'm going to want recharge off on there. And the ore detector off. Yeah. Okay. So if I turn that on, yeah, brilliant. Drive. Whee! These wheels need some tweaking. Okay. Wheels. You'll need some serious tweaking. All this down to like 30% for now. That will probably be enough. Yep. Speed limit. Yep. Zero angle could probably go down to 15 as well. That doesn't take on the side at all. Yeah. Cool. Check that. Yeah, that looks fine. And I'll get rid of the steel blocks on the side here that are not necessary now, hopefully. Oh. Repair that back up, because I'm being clumsy. And then go hunting for an iron deposit. And ideally, not just an iron deposit, but some cobalt as well. Right, yes, yeah, so that's just ice and silicon. Are there other things that would be useful on here? Yes, but. Okay, that looks like it might be an ore patch over there. Maybe tell from pumps on the ground. It's hard. I don't know. I'm not good at that. Those things that's actually kind of tricky, I find. But yeah, if we can find an iron ore patch, that would be absolutely excellent. Because yeah, iron is kind of a key component of most construction. Given that, yeah, well, steel is a key component of most production. Because yes, small metallurgy thing. It's very uncommon to actually use actual iron. Because yeah, iron as an unalloyed metal is actually not a very good construction material or very useful material for really anything, right? Apart from like magnetics, but there are better magnets than there are better materials for magnets than ferrous options. So, or at least pure iron, that are cheaper as well than pure iron, because pure iron is wildly expensive actually and wildly difficult. Because yeah, ooh, okay, there we go. This is difficult. Oh, it's gonna be fun to drive back up. Not. It's gonna be a complete freaking nightmare to drive back up, but there we are. But yeah, anyway, so pure iron is a real pain, actually, because it's not very good at anything, and so the most common process for turning iron oxide, i.e., which is the primary component of most iron ores, into anything useful is using, well, the first step tends to be using a blast furnace, right? Where, you melt it down, where you heat it up in the presence of, generally, it's carbon monoxide is the most common option. Because carbon monoxide is very oxygen hungry. It loves to grab extra oxygen. It's what makes it so dangerous. That, like, it might have done damage. Should double check. Okay, good. Looks like I didn't smack anything too hard. And yeah, I should probably move the wheels forwards, but I'm not doing that. This is... yeah. But yes, no, anyway, so carbon monoxide is the most common option, right? So you get that from, it's commonly gathered from burning effectively crushed coal. It's not a perfect descriptor, but that's the basics of what you're most commonly using in something akin to crushed coal. I don't want to try and drive up that hill. That hill looks like a nightmare to drive up. So I'm not going to. But yeah, so it's effectively crushed coal. And then you burn that in a low oxygen environment because its primary component, it's primarily carbon, right? So you burn it in a low oxygen environment and it makes carbon monoxide because there's not enough oxygen to make carbon dioxide from burning it. Right, so that's the most common strategy, is you do that, and then that carbon monoxide is released upwards into your iron ore mix, and that is then goes through the iron ore and rips oxygen away from it, giving you iron, right? Except, of course, this is a very imprecise thing, really, in the grand scheme of things. So while, yes, it does get you it does get you, this hill is going to be completely impossible to drive up again. I'm not going to go down there. But yeah, so you get iron ore out, so you get iron out, but you also get some of that carbon being captured in your mix. So you get carbon in your iron, which is, one of your primary alloying things for most steels is carbon. There are low carbon steels, but you also get other contaminants from your coal effectively, right, that make their way in, that can affect things. So you get those as well. And then from there, you tend not to end up with you don't get a pure iron out the other side. You get, iron with coal and with carbon, a couple other bits and bobs in it, which isn't very useful on its own often. It can be, but that's not ideal. And it's close to what most people would consider, what's colloquially known as iron, effectively, right? Is something similar to that, right? Where it's not been carefully heat treated, or the alloying process hasn't gone through carefully designed secondary steps, right? It's just your baseline. I'm going to put the iron ore in a space where a lot of its oxygen gets where a lot of oxygen gets stolen away from it, to allow for order. This is very unhappy. Okay. Oh, there we go. This is difficult driving. This is the problem with space engineers terrain generation a lot of the time. Not very good for driving. Why you tend not to see rovers too often, at least later on. But yes, anyway, So you get your iron. Brilliant. Okay, I've got what's collected known as iron that's just poor quality steel, really. And then most of the time, from there, other things are done to improve its quality. Whether that be the passing through of secondary treatments for, to pull out certain impurities, or the addition of material to it to alloy it better, to give you new material, to give it better properties. So stainless steel, for example, you deliberately add in chromium and vanadium and a couple other bits and bobs at carefully considered percentages by weight to give you stainless steel, right? Because the way they act to effectively protect the primary rusting mechanism of steel, so of non-stainless steel, which tends to be often what happens is it's the carbon that's attacked first in the steel. So most stainless steels are, carefully treated, treated to reduce the carbon content, and then to add in protective measures as well on top of that, which will, act to reduce that threat, that particular risk is the idea there. This hasn't gone very well as a search for ores, but yeah, also that's how you get a stainless steel, or one of the ways you get stainless steel in very limited detail. There are further discussion, I'm sure you can find a much better, more detailed explanation somewhere. Actual metallurgists will have discussed this in far greater detail. But yeah, other options, of course, for various things you can do with. And this isn't just true steel, but a lot of metals. In most metals are. It's very rare to get pure metal out pretty much anywhere. And copper, maybe, gold, maybe, silver, maybe, right? But certainly, copper. Well, you often use brass or bronze for a lot of things rather than pure copper. A lot of the time you're using a brass or a bronze rather than pure copper. Aluminium tends to be somewhat alloyed. In fact, aluminium grading is actually quite usefully sensible in that the way the number codes work for different grades of aluminium, unlike steel, which, because steel has existed for so long as a material, unlike aluminium, so there's not anything consistent there, right? Because it's effectively there's too many different options that have been developed over too much time for there to be a nice consistent way of doing it. Aluminium will tell you based on its number code effectively what it is if you know the code system, so you can tell what the primary alloying components of your aluminium are, which is obviously very helpful. I'm going to... Oh no, I've got my lights on. Okay. So it's just very difficult to see. Oh dear. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. Oh dear. Well, I guess I'm going down the cliff. Unless I can turn this around. Can I turn this around? Oh. Yeah, there we go. This is why you have a gyroscope on your rovers. So you can hold the wheels down. But yes, so, one of the things that's often done. So aluminium has sensible coding option built into it. So like the 9000 series are all, use a specific or use a specific type of primary alloying component, and then the 9000 and then something, and then that second something is heat treatment, which details your heat treatment and other specific detail, gives you more detail beyond that initial one, including often heat treatment, which, yes, so heat treatment is complicated, and exactly how it works depends from metal to metal. But most of the time what it is it's a way of allowing, basically through carefully controlling the amount of thermal energy inside the metal, right? Over periods of time, you can control to some degree how the grain shape evolves as it cools, which gives you greater control over its properties, because grain shape and size is a significant contributing factor to your hardness and ductility on most metals, which are opposing concepts most of the time. And both of them affect your elastic and plastic strength, and Young's modulus and all sorts of other material properties that are valuable to know and somewhat complicated to understand. But yeah, so one of the more common relationships is that most of the time when you increase hardness, you also increase your elastic strength effectively. So it takes more to put it into your plastic region of deformation at the cost of increasing of reducing ductility and your plastic strength, which is to final yield strength, your final yield point, which is to say, you make your metal harder, you lose some of its ability to reshape and reform under stress, making it more likely that it either directly shatters, like you see with cast iron, for example, which is, often. So cast iron, for example, is, a very hard option. So, it's got very little, but it then is very unductile indeed, right? Cast iron will just shatter effectively, right? It's closer to a ceramic in that sense than most metals. It's still metal, of course, right? But it's behaving relatively unductile, in a relatively unductile manner, which, can cause problems. It makes it more difficult to work, but it tends to make it stronger in that elastic region. So you tend to have a larger elastic region, which is where you can stress it and it will stretch a little bit, but, think like it. The clear example of this is an elastic band, right? You stretch it, and it'll ping back to shape. Right, that's your elastic region, which for most materials obviously is not quite so visible and extreme as on the as on an elastic band, or other elastic material, very obviously elastic material. Oy. Oh, nope. Ice legs are dangerous, but useful. But yes, so elastic bands are one very clear example of your elastic and then your plastic, where, obviously elastic bands tend to be quite stretchy, right? You've got a lot of stretch to them, but once you stretch them too far, you don't get a much ability to reshape them, right? There's very little you can do to reshape an elastic band permanently, right? You can do a little bit, right? A certain amount of permanence you can give it, permanent stretch you can give it, right? Just by stretching it the right amount, you'll stretch it a little bit, But beyond that, once you go past that point, it will just snap, right? And that's your plastic limit, effectively. Whilst, a lot of the time with most metals, yes, they've got an elastic region, but they also have a plastic region where, you can do things like forge it, right? Where you're pushing it past its elastic limits, right, of deformation into the plastic range, and then some of that deformation stays, right? You keep some of that change in shape that you pushed into it. That's how you forge things. Not, yeah, is by, you push what it is doing. You push the material past its elastic and into its plastic, and then it retains that new shape. That's what, well, not in the entirety of that new shape, because the elastic deformation bit will still go back afterwards, right? Oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh dear. Well, that's great. Okay. Well, I rolled the thing. Um, Time to very, very carefully. Okay, okay, okay. I should probably have done this. Oh, from outside. There we go. Okay. Gyroscope. Okay, that's not helpful. Ooh. Okay, that's doing actually nothing. Right. Gyroscope. Turn off override. There we go. Okay. But yes, so elastics. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So most of the time you don't get iron, you get steel. Because to make iron, you have to purify your iron ore entirely, or purify your iron containing substance entirely, which is a complete pain in the ass, which is very difficult to do, because yeah, large parts of that is that we didn't, unlike with aluminium that tends to require simple for the extraction process itself from the ore, tends to require a higher energy. A lot of the time you're looking at electrolysis or other more, I guess, precise would be the word options for its removal. So you don't tend to end up with the same level of impurities in there. So aluminium can be made with a very high level of purity initially, and then from there you alloy it, right? From a high level of purity. Iron, you accept a certain level of, impurities as default, and you can reduce that somewhat, or not as much, depending on how much time and energy you're willing to put into it, and how many time, energy, and resources you're willing to put in to purification. And to get to pure iron, you need to put in a lot of time, energy, and resources from that initial stage. There are, of course, ways to do the initial extraction more cleanly, but again, those are more time, more energy intensive options. You're looking at doing electrolysis potentially, for example, right, rather than going to a blast furnace. So yeah, it's not done commonly. It has been done to show that it's possible, but yes, it's a uncommon option. Regardless, this has just been a discussion on metallurgy whilst I drive around not finding all deposits, which is disappointing. I was hoping to find some, Oh, wait. Okay. Is there anything other than gold around? Let's find out. Gold is good to know about, but also not particularly helpful right now. Yep. Mark gold and drive around because it always tend to come in threes. But maybe that is purely a gold deposit. Interesting. Looks like it might be purely a gold deposit. Of course, there might be things buried deeper than the gold, but I'm not digging down 20 meters to find out if there's anything else around here. Just gonna do a quick circle and then continue onwards. Yeah, looks like it's just the gold. Okay. Not a bad find. Gold is useful to know about. There are things that gold has some, useful properties to it. There's silver around here as well. Even better. Well, not even better necessarily, but another very useful. And look at that. Nearly 90 meters down, it looks like. Yeah. Okay. G. Yeah, silver. And yes, I do tend to use or we tend to use the names for the little symbols rather than writing things out because we know most of them, and it saves writing out an entire thing. So we can very quickly and easily recognize what to actually deposit using those rather than having to write out, instead of just writing out entire things and having longer GPS tags than needed. It's not something everyone does, obviously, or necessarily what we would recommend if you're not able to quickly. Did I get them the right way around? I might have got the gold and silver the wrong way around. I think so. And yeah, those are two of the less clear ones from English. Slightly clearer from Welsh, but not hugely. Yeah, of course. But I think they're reasonably clear in Latin, but we don't speak Latin, so could be wrong on that one too. Holy, oh no! King rolled the rover again. Okay. This has been a very unproductive. Nope, that didn't help really at all. Turns out I can just flip it. Oh, yeah, at least from there. Thank you, mouse authority. Or I could use the keyboard actually as keyboard controls for you for gyros as well. Which, yeah, are slightly more stable, I guess, would be the word. Like, they're more consistent than using a mouse. Another? Oh, oops. Oh, cobalt. Oh, go. That's a good find, actually. Might dig some of that out. That's silver, so that's. And cobalt. Right, I'm going to dig out some of that cobalt. Can I get directly above it, I wonder? Oh, there we go. Well, probably not directly above it, but close enough. Yes, I probably would be better off being something that can be walked up and down rather than depending on jetpack. But I don't care. I'm going to mine straight downwards like a terrible person because, quite frankly, it works. At least reasonably for now. Hopefully, I don't intersect silver. I don't think I will. I don't know. Maybe I should get some silver at the same time, but I don't need silver right now. Whilst cobalt lets me do useful things right now, like yeah, metal grids, which are useful for all number of things. Most notably, cargo storage, large grid cargo storage, and engines, atmospheric engines. Oh, and hydrogen engines actually. And I'll need hydrogen engines to get to space because I can't build iron engines without Pluto. Which are the only other option for yeah. Obviously, atmospheric engines don't work in space. So you need another different option, which means you're looking at using hydrogen or ion engines, and ion engines need platinum, which you only get in space. So, which isn't quite accurate really to real life, but whatever. This planet has no deposits of platinum on it. Fine. The asteroids have plenty of, well, not plenty. It's not that common a resource, but the asteroids up in space have platinum deposits. So, it is worth going to space to get platinum because platinum is useful for things like, well, yeah. And an obvious example is making iron engines, which admittedly are mostly useful for getting around in space because they don't work very well in atmosphere because they don't actually provide that much thrust. But they only need energy, like atmospherics. They don't need fuel. Like hydrogen engines need fuel and work in atmosphere and in space, and are by far the best thrust to weight in terms of the actual thruster component itself. Right, you need far less. In far less in terms of active thrusting, in terms of active thrust to make use of them, but at the cost of where the hole go. Oh, there. Okay, well. Ow. Oops. I don't know how much that actually hurt. I should probably check these things on again. That's a good point. Putting my camera there might have been a very bad idea. I can't see how my health or hydrogen is doing. That's a concern. Well, regardless, I'm going to grab this thing of cobalt and then drive back to space. Yeah, anyway, the other thing cobalt is useful for is, yeah, so you need cobalt for metal grids, which you need for a number of things, but the primary uses are in, right, okay, so where's base? Where's home? It's over that way, I believe. Yeah, magnesium and silicon, I think, is nearby. Avoid the canyon. Oh, not avoiding airtime apparently entirely. Yeah, I avoid the canyon because I don't have to try and climb back out. I say driving along the canyon wall like a complete idiot. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Avoid, avoid, oh no. Fail to avoid the rough terrain. Able to avoid the rough terrain. This is why you add more wheels to things, so that you can do. No. Onto the ground. There we go. Come on. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay. Right, let's try and. Come on, come on, come on. Okay. Let's try this angle. Nope. Oh no. Come on, up and now down again. Okay. Well, that's very clearly not going to work. Okay, so let's. No, no. Um. Hmm. Well. Come on. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. This is very bad. This is very, very bad, actually. We're on the side of a cliff. Okay, come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. Alright. Oh. Holy moly, this does not want to go. Okay. Oh, and I've completely damaged, and I've damaged one of my containers. Brilliant. How bad is it? Oh no. That's quite bad, actually. Um. Hopefully, nothing else is too bad off. Oh, I've done a number on the battery too. Oh dear. That's actually very bad. I really do not want to be damaging that battery. Because if that battery dies, I'm in real trouble. Okay. Gyroscope. Override. Come on. Okay, that's not getting me anywhere. All going to get me anywhere. Yes. Okay. Or no, not really. Oh. Just gonna turn off override again. Okay, well, completely upside down now again. And still on the side of cliff. And I didn't think to bring like steel plate or anything, so oh, oh. Really? That's balanced? I guess it's still upside down, doesn't it? Yeah. This has gone horrifically. It really doesn't help that Oh shit, the battery's broken now. Okay then. So, this is now very, very well and truly fudged. How bad is this? Okay, absolutely atrocious. The battery is completely nuked. Cool. Well, robot. Oh, no, that's what I need. It's on here. No, that's not what I need. No. Oh, that's not what I needed. Oopsie daisy. Okay, well, I'm going to call it here. Hopefully, it didn't go too hard. This system signing out. Hope to catch you all next week. Please do remember to like, subscribe, comment, especially if you've got any questions you want answered. Be happy to answer them either in the comments or in another video. So, catch you all next week.